Imagine you're alone in the dark, rain hammering down, and you see something that shouldn't be possible, something that stares back but has no face. These aren't just stories, they're accounts people swore were real until the details started breaking reality. If you look away now, you might never know what was waiting when they finally looked up. Hit like if you're brave enough, subscribe if you want the full truth before it disappears. Because once you hear these, some things can't be unheard. First one comes from a veteran patrol sergeant in a quiet southern college town. 10 years on the job, night shifts mostly. He'd seen plenty enough to build walls, but walls don't hold when the impossible starts bleeding through. It was late September, just past midnight, rain coming down in sheets. Dispatch crackles, shots fired near the football stadium. Tailgating tents still up from game day, white canopies flapping like ghosts in the wind. Most calls like that, fireworks, kids being dumb. He rolls in slow, spotlight sweeping the lots. Halfway through, the beam catches something under one of the big tents, a figure in a folding chair. Back to him, hunched forward, head down like he's praying or regretting. He pulls closer, announces himself, no response. Closer still, flashlight hits the pavement beside the chair, shotgun lying there, barrel still warm from the smell. Heart rate spikes, he draws, lights the figure up with the weapon-mounted beam. The man doesn't twitch, doesn't breathe, because there's nothing left above the shoulders, clean, gone, like the blast erased him from existence. But here's what stuck with him forever. The body was posed, elbows on knees, hands folded, as if after pulling the trigger the man had calmly leaned forward, to think, to wait. Sergeant steps under the tent, calls it in, holds the channel. Rain should stop under the canvas, it doesn't. Drops keep hitting his hat, his shoulders, his face. He tilts his head back, and then he looked up. The tent ceiling was intact, no holes, no tears. But directly above the headless corpse, rain poured through an invisible opening, a perfect circle of water falling straight down, soaking only that one spot, like the sky had punched a tunnel just for him. He radioed back up. They arrived, coroner came, ruled suicide. But the photos, the rain pattern in every shot, never explained. The sergeant still wakes up some nights when it storms, feeling wet, feeling watched. And he swears if he ever looks up too fast in the rain, something might be looking back down through that same hole. Second story, this one still gives me chills every time I think about trusting instincts and ignoring them anyway. A woman in her late 20s, thrill seeker turned cautious. One random Tuesday off work, no plans, no friends, free, so she heads to an aging amusement park alone. Midweek, off-season, the place feels half dead, rides spinning for ghosts, lines non-existent. That empty vastness should have been a red flag. It felt wrong, like the park was waiting for something to fill it, and she walked right in. She starts small, gentle rides, working up courage, meets a guy in line named Elias. Easy smile, same taste in adrenaline. They ride together all afternoon. Laugh, share stories. By dusk, only one ride left. The Black Veil, a towering steel monster. Inverted loops, zero-G rolls, a 90-foot drop into darkness. The name alone feels like a warning. Elias wants it. She hesitates, gut screaming no, but doesn't want to look weak. They queue up. Line thins fast, closing time nears. Only 17 riders board. She ends up mid-train, Elias beside her. Restraints clamp down over shoulder harnesses tight against the chest. The cheesy pre-ride spiel crackles, no escape, no mercy. The veil claims its own. Everyone laughs, she doesn't. The train launches, climbs, drops, twists, adrenaline floods in. For one perfect lap, fear melts. Then, it doesn't slow, it blasts past the station. Operators frozen, starring, riders whoop at first, bonus rides. Elias grins wide, she feels ice in her veins. Lap 2, 3, 4, confusion turns to panic, brakes don't engage, emergency systems silent, park empties. Lights stay on just for them. At the peak of the lift hill, slow crawl, they spot fire trucks rolling in, ambulances, crowds gathering below like spectators at an execution. Whiteboards appear, scrawled messages whip past at 60 mph, trying everything. Hold on, help coming. Hours drag, bodies ache, G-forces bruise ribs, necks snap forward. One rider panics, tries to unbuckle at the top, slips halfway, leg catches on a crossbeam, ripped free, body cartwheels into the void, screams cut short by impact. Another clutches his chest, silent heart attack mid-loop. The rest go quiet, acceptance settles like poison. By hour 4, restraints unlock mysteriously. A desperate mother in the crowd had slammed the emergency release instead of the stop button. Chaos. Some leap, most die on the net below, spines folded wrong. Others cling harder. She and Elias hold each other, nails and skin, blood mixing. Hour 6, a jury-rigged net across the station tied to concrete pillars. They cheer below like it's salvation. The train slams into it, poles rip free. One spears through the rear cars. 7 cars shear off, somersault into the ground upside down. Wet crunches echo, silence after. Now only the front 3 cars remain, Elias beside her, a stranger ahead. The drag from wreckage slows them just enough to notice. Hour 8, 9, 10, Elias spots a loose panel grinding the rail. He reaches to grab it, stop the bleeding speed. She begs him not to, he does anyway. Hand slips, panel slices deep through muscle to bone. Arm hangs by threads. Blood sprays in arcs with every turn. He stares at it, calm, almost peaceful, whispers, "It's okay." Fades during the next drop, dead eyes locked forward. She rides beside a corpse for hours. Motion never stops. Smell of copper and fear fills the car. Hour 11, shoes off. She wedges them into the brake truck as they crawl past the station. A miracle, the train shudders, slows, almost stops. She squeezes out ribs cracking against harness, drops to the net below, lands hard, alive. Hospital, broken bones, concussion, therapy now. The park owners scrubbed every trace. No news, no records. She still hears the wheels clicking in her sleep. Still feels Elias' cold hand in hers. Moral she carved into her soul when every instinct screams run. Listen, because some rides don't let you off. They just wait for the next passenger. Third account, 2 moments from different lives, but they echo the same terror. Being alone when the thing that wants in already knows you're vulnerable. First fragment, a teenage boy in a fatting East Coast rowhouse neighborhood. Parents away at a wedding. Older brother on graveyard shift, just him and Cecil, an ancient beagle who'd long forgotten how to bark. The dog spent days sleeping, head on laps, begging scraps, never raised his voice, never needed to. Around 1 a.m., the boy's half asleep on the couch, pizza box empty, TV glow dying. A metallic bang from the back alley, trash cans, drunks, Cecil's head snaps up. Hackles rise, the boy soothes him, drifts again. 2 minutes later, another bang. Louder, closer. Cecil explodes off the couch. A blur of short legs and sagging belly charging the basement door, not barking, roaring, deep, guttural like a much larger animal trapped in his throat. The boy's blood turns cold. He knows that seldom used basement door to the alley, rusted, stubborn, loud even with a key. Persistent pounding now, not random, methodical, someone testing, someone patient. The boy grabs his old Louisville Slugger from under the bed, creeps downstairs. Cecil barrels past, hackles like wire. A man's voice from the other side, sharp, surprised, "Shit," then silence. The boy waits all night, bat in hand, lights off, breathing shallow. At dawn his brother comes home. They check the door. One good shove and the whole frame would have given. The lock held. Cecil didn't. The old dog, lazy, fat, harmless, had somehow projected enough fury through that thin wood to make a predator rethink his night. Years later, the boy, now a man with a family, still thanks Cecil in quiet moments. The dog passed peacefully, but the boy swears that night Cecil understood the stakes better than any human ever could. Now the second fragment, same feeling of being left behind, but in a place where no one can hear you scream. Early 90s, high school kid good with tools, works cash under table demo jobs, tearing out kitchens, flooring, paneling for flip houses. Boss calls, solo gig Saturday, remote house in the Mojave. Bring food, water, expect no one around. Kid packs a cooler, rides shotgun while they talk muscle cars. Doesn't note the route. Why would he? Boss drops him with tools, promises pickup by 5 or 6. Drives off. House is a time capsule, 1960s ranch, dark paneling, avocado appliances, wagon wheel decor, closet stuffed with dusty stuffed animals staring back. No power, no water, no cell signal, pre-cell era anyway. Job straightforward, gut it. Kid works fast, carpet up. Kitchen smashed, paneling pried, trash pile growing outside. By late afternoon he's done, swept clean, ready for the flip crew. Sun drops, desert cold crashes in. Flannel isn't enough. Boss doesn't show. 6 becomes 7 becomes 8. Kid climbs the roof, nothing but dark miles. Nearest lights, abandoned foreclosures. No one home, he could hike out. Risky in the dark with 1 jug of stale water, or wait till dawn, but no one knows exactly where he is. Family assumes he's working late like always. Full dark, moon bright but useless inside. Radio dies. Wind rattles loose boards, scratching sounds, animals or footsteps. He drags an old wooden chair to the living room, faces the front door, tries building a fire in the hearth. Hands shake. Mind plays tricks. Shadows slide past windows. Whispers drift from hallways. He yells, "Hello." Something heavy falls in the back bedroom. He bolts outside, grabs the heaviest pry bar, Big Daddy, circles the house. Wind cuts deeper, no lights anywhere, every noise is a threat. Mojave rumors flood in, bodies buried out here, cults, people who vanish. He perches on the porch railing, staring into the house through the window. Sees movement, human silhouette drifting from kitchen to hall, not an animal. Heart hammers, he trips over debris running back to the tool pile, falls, gets up, falls again like something shoved him, then headlights, boss's truck, finally. Boss apologizes, miscommunication with the other crew, thought someone else was coming, feels awful, pays extra, stops for burgers on the way back, kid eats like he's never eaten. Later he asks about the house. Boss shrugs, just a flip, nothing special. But the kid never takes another solo desert job, and sometimes, years later, when he's alone in his own house at night, he still checks the basement door, still listens for that old, impossible bark that once saved him. Because deep down he wonders, what if whatever was circling that night didn't stay in the desert? What if it learned patience and followed the only living thing that left? Fourth and final cluster, these aren't isolated incidents. They're fractures in trust, your own mind, the person beside you, the crowd you're lost in. Once cracked, reality leaks something darker. Start in the shadows of Mount Rainier. A young van lifer, 23, solo camping after a meetup. Dispersed spot in the national forest, fire pits littered with half-empty cans, a log bench scrawled with faded graffiti. Quiet riverbank, trucks rumble by occasionally, claiming sights down the fire road. He cooks carne asada, downloads flicks for the night. Breeze through open doors feels like freedom. Sunsets, distant booms, gunshots, chainsaws whining, common enough in these woods. An RV packs up early, unusual, but he shrugs it off. Dishes done, doors locked triple tight. Sleep comes hazy. Wakes gasping, pitch black, lungs burn like drowning on dry air. No choke, just void, punches at windows, blinds shred. Vent crushes inward, feet slam cabinets. A canopy pole snaps across the floor. He fumbles to the side door, bursts out. Then, morning, sun up, damage everywhere, scratches from inside, knuckles raw, no forced entry, carbon detector silent, van ventilated. He's no sleepwalker, but this echoes a prior Rainier trip. Friends heard him scream bloody murder from the van. Door flung open, he's asleep, clueless. Now he avoids the park, that drowning dark clings. What if it's not him, but something in those trees that slips inside when you're alone? Shift to an apartment on a quiet town square. Woman in her 30s, fresh, solo living post-pandemic. Old building, second floor, loves the creaks, the history. One July night, after scary movies till 2 a.m., she heads to bed. Last memory, bathroom mirror, brushing teeth. Wakes at 4 p.m., 14 hours gone. Phone dead. Vision fogged, headache pounding, shorts drawstring snapped like torn in struggle. Face feels wrong, mirror reveals a tennis ball lump on forehead, eyes blackened shut. Bruises, fingerprint grips on arms, not hers, too big. Red welts on wrists, ankles, rug burns on shins. No recall, black void, hospital, you didn't do this, someone did. Police called but no follow-up. Hallucinations hit later, TV characters whispering to her. Paranoia, family plotting outside, vomiting, committed to psych ward for 11 days over TBI, still no memories. Was someone hiding in the walls, a stranger from the square, or worse, someone she knows still in her life? The not knowing gnaws deeper than any bruise. Deeper still, a husband uneasy with his wife's insomnia. She paces nights, does chores, garbage disposal runs endlessly, wet grinding through the dark. He checks one night, her in PJs, staring into the drain, hair dipping in. She startles, hides balled up turkey slices, lost a ring gem. But he knows that ring, no missing stones. He offers to fish it, hand down the warm, rubbery chamber, blades hot from overuse. She leans near the switch. Finger brushes something hard, she shifts. He yanks out, heart exploding. Was she about to flip it? Later alone, he hears gurgling breaths from the drain. Warm air puffs up. He feeds turkey, disposal roars unswitched. Spoon pushed in, end gnawed to shards. She confesses it lives there, likes meat, grows hungrier. She's tamed it with groceries, Demos with sugared hand, cleaned, spotless, unharmed. Try, curiosity wins. His sugared hand descends, crunch, blackout. Wakes bandaged, hand gone, wife vanished with cash, jewels, car, plumber, no motor ever installed. Empty pit, but it worked for years. Where's the hand, where's she, and does it still breathe in the pipes, waiting for more? Final trap, trivia night gone infernal. 5 friends post-college ritual at a dive bar, but one gets a flyer for Luna's Lounge, basement spot off a side street. Neon arrow downstairs, they try it. Cozy. Few groups, couples, trios, a quartet. Hostess Luna, red lips, card deck. 5 rounds, 5 questions each. Submit answers one by one. Starts tame, pop culture, sports, geography, then twists. Where's hell? A Michigan town, ha. But round 4, who do you like least? Pass, docked points. Most rational, okay. Who'd you sacrifice? Outrage, they try leaving door locked. Bartender flashes gun, finish or stay. Panic, worse sin, truth required, somehow she knows lies. Deepest fear, hated person, murder method. Dante's circle for you. Return to Luna's. Winners leave first, second picks 3 to free. Third 1, losers, smoke curls upstairs, burning meat stench, cries from inside, door sealed, friends pound, can't breach, sirens come but, sign gone, vines choke rails, basement empty, dirt floor, no bar, no bodies, police, abandoned years, one friend missing, left behind. The group haunts the spot Thursdays, warns passers-by, but Luna's reappears sometimes. Luring fresh teams. Advice, if trivia turns personal, win or burn. And that's the veil lifted on these unexplainables. Stories that linger because they could be yours. If this hooked you, hit like, subscribe now. We're building to 500K by year's end. Join the circle before the questions get personal. Exclusive drops for subs, deeper diveys, bonus tailies that vanish if you blink. Don't miss out, trust me, or don't, until next shadow.